One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Abraham was sitting quietly in his tent. Suddenly, God spoke to him. "Abraham." Abraham's heart raced as he listened. "Here I am, Lord," he answered. God said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering. On one of the mountains I will show you." Abraham felt a lump in his throat. Isaac was his miracle child, the son God had promised him and Sarah in their old age. But Abraham trusted God completely, even when he didn't understand. Early the next morning, Abraham woke Isaac and 2 servants. He said, "We are going to worship God." Abraham gathered wood for the offering, placed it on a donkey, and they set out on the journey. For 3 days, they traveled across rocky paths and hills. Abraham's heart was heavy, but he didn't complain. He trusted that God had a plan. Finally, they saw the mountain in the distance. Abraham told the servants, "Stay here with the donkey. Isaac and I will go up to worship, and then we will come back." As they climbed the mountain, Isaac carried the wood for the offering, and Abraham held the knife in fire. Isaac looked up at his father and asked, "Father, we have the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the offering?" Abraham's voice trembled as he replied, "God himself will provide the lamb, my son." Isaac nodded, trusting his father's words, even though he didn't fully understand. When they reached the top of the mountain, Abraham and Isaac worked together to build an altar. Abraham carefully arranged the wood on the altar. Then, with tears in his eyes, Abraham explained to Isaac what God had commanded. Isaac didn't run away or argue. He trusted his father and God, even though he must have felt scared. Abraham tied Isaac and laid him on the altar. He picked up the knife, his hands trembling. Just as Abraham raised the knife to obey God's command, an angel of the Lord called out, "Abraham! Abraham!" Abraham froze and said, "Here I am." The angel said, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." Abraham felt a rush of relief and joy. Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in a bush nearby. He untied Isaac and hugged him tightly. Together, they offered the ram as a sacrifice to God. Abraham named the place, "The Lord will provide," because God had shown his faithfulness once again. After the offering, God spoke to Abraham again, "Because you have obeyed me and not withheld your son, I will bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore." Abraham and Isaac returned home, their hearts full of joy and faith. They knew that God was always faithful, and that his promises would never fail. The story of Abraham and Isaac teaches us that trusting God, even when it's hard, brings blessings. It reminds us that God is faithful and will always provide for his children.